I think of a human being as something that exists on a threshold. My words, my thinking exist on a threshold with your words, your thinking, and everyone else's. It is never just me talking, thinking. Something talks and sings with me and with you too. Every word is an empty gesture, a grasping of reality, a way out of nothingness. Hidden inside our words is a fantastic realm where everything is possible and yet nothing exists. Bold, empty, glorious numbers. Na 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 mum bur 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 numbers. This is the polyphony of the body. I got into sound about 25 years ago, and there was one big question, and this is, what is sound color or timbre? Timbre is that which tells you the difference between my voice and any other voice, or the sound of a, let's say, piano and a guitar when they play the same notes, or the difference between a dieze and a European flute. I wanted to know, with my own body, how is it that I can hear the difference between all these sounds? And I started to play around with my voice, and after some time, several months of mumbling, making noises, I stumbled upon overtones or harmonics. These are kind of the building blocks of sound. They are there all the time. They determine a great deal for how we produce sound, how the ear perceives sound, and how we process sound in the brain. And I thought, this is really something. This can teach me something not just about a certain kind of music, like this mumbling that I was doing, or this overtone singing that I was just doing. And I hope you heard the overtones when I was just holding a tone, and there were other tones on top of that. Those higher sounds, which sound like a flute, they are the overtones. And I thought, this can teach me something about music everywhere in the world. And this journey brought me then to Siberia, to Tuva, to be precise. And I went there to learn with the throat singers, also overtone singers. And I hang out with them. I recorded them, I interviewed them, I talked to them, I learned with them. I wanted to know everything about their art. And I began to see the ancestors of my Tuvan friends as some kind of empirical voice technologists of the inner Asian stepplands. Ages ago, they somehow discovered this aspect of sound. When there was no throat singing yet, they started to hear these overtones, and they greatly nourished and played with this quality of sound, with timbre. And they branched out into a whole lot of different techniques of throat singing. So I'll give you some examples. One of them is a geumé. And another one is Sigit. And there's another one, Kargida, but that might ruin my throat right now, and then I cannot talk anymore, so maybe later on. And I started to wonder, why is it that only these people living there and a few other scattered people around the world and in Inner Asia, they have found out that the voice is polyphonic, that there are so many sounds. Why didn't I hear that earlier? In the West, we came to know about these sounds only about 50 years ago. Then people started to play with overtones in the voice. Composers, musicians started to work with that. We knew overtones for hundreds of years, but not that we can actually make music with it. And I think I want to change that. So I think I would like to do a little demonstration, because where does it come from? One of the things that led to this discovery in the West is the science of speech, or phonetics. So if you're all familiar with vowel sounds, listen to these 7 vowels. U, O, A, E, I. If I put the tone underneath, you get U, O, A, E. Still no music, you might say. Now I'm going to put an overtone into each vowel. And then I'm going to connect the little bits, because I'm skipping many overtones, and then you hear the overtone series, and the vowels are in the background. Now, you may wonder, why didn't I never hear that? Because there are too many overtones. These overtones are there all the time. You're hearing them now as I speak. And they're there when you speak. There are too many of them because they're not lined up like I'm singing them, but they're there at the same time, vertically, you might say. So I want to do a little exercise with you to make my point that these sounds are present in speech. 请跟我一起唱好吗？好。How are you?
How are you?
Wonderful, you got a long breath, so that helps. Okay, the last word is just overtones going down. Maybe you don't hear it yet, but give it a try. Let me give you one example. You. Very, very slow, please. Yeah, thank you. You're already at the ooh, you should be doing it very slowly. So this is the difficult thing, and that's what took me several months. So after listening several months to my voice, I started to do things slowly, 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 and then you get you. Give it one more try, please. Yeah. That's much better. Okay, so the thing is, your brain, your ears, your voice are wired up for harmonics. These sounds have been buzzing around in your mouth. They have been tickling your ears and your brain ever since we have been humans, and much longer before. It's a law of sound. It's the DNA of sound. It's always there, and we don't hear it. When you were born as a baby, you were wired up for sound. And there is music in our speech. Our ears are fully grown when we come out of the belly. They're fully functioning already for 3 months. We're conscious listeners. We have a great potential, and we learn languages very easily. but it's limited to our own culture, usually. And I think here we have a point, because we can learn something from our Tuvan friends. The children in Tuva, like these here, they grow up understanding that there is so much more to hear in timbre. There's all these overtones. And I think we can teach our children also not to be overtone singers or throat singers, I don't mean that, but to become more conscious listeners. And there is a little problem still I want to talk about related to that. We are flooded with information nowadays. We are bombarded with particularly visual images. We are glued to our touchscreens, to our computers. There is so much information, but is there more knowledge? This I'm not so sure about. We're maybe losing a sense a little bit of where we are going. We want to know more and more and more. We do more. But we also make a lot of noise. There is a lot of music. There's plenty of music, which is great. But why not have a little bit less of quantity and have more quality? Not having more and more input, but having very conscious attention to sound, to what we see, what we taste, what we smell. We neglect some of the potential we have. And the children that are born now and they grow up, I think we can help them to steer in this flood of information by using our voice in a better way. Have time for silence. Have time to listen to a single sound and ask ourselves, what does one tone have to say to me, to my voice?
Give me what? Give me what? Give me what? Give me a few what? Give me a few what for a woman? Give me a few what for a woman? Bold. Empty.
Bold.
Glorious.
Empty.
Numbers.
Glorious.
Bold.
Numbers. Build a house. And the night, before the night comes. 谢谢大家。